Is this the right place?
The increase of sharks in the area has been
Yeah,
a
this is the
growing
one.
source of concern.
I was only asking.
Ladies and gentlemen, for God, you piece of shit! Rough 'em up, boys! Oh, did I give you a boo-boo? Just one guy. We can take...
There have been a couple union-related troubles. Numerous supply chain
And stay down, asshole.
worker riots have broken out.
So, we're trying something a little different with this review. Mainly, what we're doing here is calling this not a review, but a first impressions, if you will. Only a third of the game is out right now in the form of the first episode out of 3, so I figure we'll do a little less scripting for this one, and also everything I talk about here has the caveat of all of my opinions are subject to change as the game is updated and new content is released and we see how things have further developed. But having completed the first episode, these are my thoughts on the subject matter. This is Fallen Aces.
I don't know what you're eating, kid. Oh, did I give you a boo-boo? Smack you around like that? Killed him! Oh, did I give you a boo-boo? Tell me all us can't take this one fella, come on!
You're not cut out for this line of work.
The presentation is something that I don't really have any sort of complaints with. They nail the visual style of a noir comic book from the 20s. It's like we're reading a comic book from The Shadow or something like that. In fact, I'm pretty sure Nightwave is almost certainly a parody of The Shadow in some regards, or an homage to The Shadow, as would be the more appropriate term. And the music is the same thing. The music has that nice noir tone to it that will then quickly turn into a sort of comic book style blam, pow, kazam, whatever noises when needed. All in all, very pleasant to listen to, although, similar to the other New Blood game that I reviewed, Ultra Kill, personally, I say personally because this apparently irked some people last time when I talked about it in Ultra Kill. I did not find any tracks that stuck in my head afterwards. The tracks didn't feel necessarily memorable. Good, they're good, but none stuck out to me as earworms that you would put in front of me and I would instantly think, oh yeah, Fallen Aces. They're all just very well done mystery noir comic book music. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with the style. The style is actually, I think, far more unique looking. The amount of detail put into the actual characters and how they appear relative to your position is actually really nice. It gives a much more unique style to what would otherwise be a bit more of a generic looking boomer shooter. And speaking of the world, let's get to the story.
Hey, let's get him! Let's go, pretty boy!
Get over this, bastard. You fellas are starting to piss me off.
What's that? Hey, who's messing with the lights?
We got trouble, boys! Shit, shit, shit!
So the story is, as of yet, unresolved, of course. We only have a third of the game to go with right now. But for what we know at the moment, and to minimize spoilers, since again, this game is very fresh, you play as Mike, a detective who seems to have some sort of shady military history, who has become the target of a group of gangsters, or mafia. At least that's what it appears to be on the surface. Right before the thugs appear to break into your apartment, you are called by Nightwave, the local superhero, to help you get out. After that, you end up working with Nightwave and discover that this version of 1920s America is very Watchmen-esque in the fact that people like Nightwave are apparently a little more common than meets the eye, aka weird superhero people, and apparently Nightwave's own colleagues are being hunted down and killed systematically by these exact same individuals. So, you end up working with Nightwave to try and figure out what's going on and how to stop them. That's pretty much all we know right now. Yeah, not much in the way of deep spoilers there unless you get into character background development, which is what you earn by playing the game, so I'm not going to spoil it here. All in all, I think it's a good setup for a pretty decent story. I like the little Watchmen angle they've got going with Nightwave and the Aces. Let's just hope they keep this streak going, huh? Now then, let's get to the important part.
Good work. Take the bridge back to the pump house where you started. I'll be there waiting for you.
Ah, shit. The whole dockyard's gonna hear this racket.
Got some more hostiles heading your way. Try and hold them off. I'll cover you.
So, right off the bat, if you go into this thinking you'll be able to play it like a traditional boomer shooter, no, not at all. I know it looks like a boomer shooter, it seems like it might play like a boomer shooter with a bit more of a melee focus, but no, you will not be able to do that. It is, in fact, an immersive sim. So if you go into this being able to play it like Deus Ex, that's more the right mentality. Every level is its own miniature open world environment where you have multiple ways of entering and exiting the various parts of said environment and achieving your objective. Of course, that includes a mix of being able to go in stealth versus loud, etc. However, this is where my mixed feelings on the gameplay come in. It feels as though stealth is not that refined. It all feels very vague, especially since if characters are knocked out, aka pacified, then the moment they get spotted by one of their colleagues, they can be woken up and the entire place will be swarming with people looking for you now. Which means you're really encouraged to just kill everyone instead. In fact, there's only one mission where the objective would be to not kill everyone, but then later on in the mission, you're pretty much forced to kill everyone anyway. Or at the very least, it is implied that you can start doing it now. The mix between stealth and loud just doesn't feel very balanced at the moment, especially given that the moment your cover is blown, everybody's gonna be after you and it'll just devolve into another brawl. And while the brawling can be enjoyable, and it can get really annoying when you have an entire level's worth of goons swarming you, especially when they have guns, because it is extremely difficult for you to dodge guns in this game. You might have the accuracy of a stormtrooper because of the spread mechanic, but they do not. They almost certainly will hit you, and if it's anything more than a pistol hitting you, you're almost guaranteed to die within a few shots. So stealth is preferable until the absolute last minute, but even then, it feels almost inevitable that you're going to go loud anyway. So a lot of it feels like, well, what was the point? What was the point of all this stealthiness anyway? But that's just my experience, those are just my thoughts. Who knows, things may be subject to change as the game develops. Maybe the maps in the first episode will be further refined to allow for greater stealth gameplay, or maybe the stealth mechanics will be fixed more. I've heard similar complaints from more professional reviewers than I, that the stealth is not the best. So clearly I'm not going crazy here. There's something to my experience. But we will see how it develops over time.
No. Shit! Pete! No, god damn it! Sons of bitches! I'm gonna find the assholes who did this. You won't have to. Glassjaw wants to see your ugly mug, face to face, and see the fear in your eyes before he plugs you. All right, boys, drag this piece of shit to the car and let's hit the bricks. Can't wait to see this. It's gonna be one hell of a party.
And those are my current thoughts on Fallen Aces. It's a game that has a lot of potential. It has a very good style, very decent gameplay. I think it tricked a lot of people with the fact that it's a New Blood game into thinking that it's a boomer shooter when it's really more like Deus Ex rather than Doom. But hopefully once people go over that hill and come to terms with what the game actually is, we will begin to find where the true fan base for this game lies and see how much potential this game really has. Especially since I still think that the stealth mechanics and things of that nature need to be refined a lot more. Because otherwise, we're gonna keep getting circumstances like what I got in a lot of the gameplay where everything just seemed to devolve into hand-to-hand combat. And if you got into contact with one too many people with guns, you were just screwed because it's significantly harder for you to get your hands on a single pistol than most other items in the game. So yeah, I think with some refinement, this game could become a great immersive sim, and, well, we'll just have to wait and see if that happens. This has been TheRatMan, and I will see you all later. And lastly, a special thank you shout out to Mike Uniturtle and Reese. Thank you for the support.